Hello YouTube denizens, David Storm here with Retro Gamers Guild, and do I have a build for you today? This build can tank whole teams in BGs, and Cyrodil, troll duelers, effortlessly get on the leaderboard for every game, take 500k damage from the Chaos Ball, heal for 1 to 2 million plus in a single match, and consistently get the highest score in every match, all while pressing one button. Do I have your attention? This is the tankiest, most versatile build I've ever played, and I'm so excited to share it with you. So let's get into the build. Starting off, we are a Breton, and we are a Warden. Although Nord works well as second, I think Breton, because of some of the passives, works the best. That's just my personal. I have not played the Nord, but my friends are playing the Nord version of this, and they have actually more resist than me. But what I do like is the spell resistance here that's doubled if you're afflicted with burning, chilled, or concussed, which is 99% of the time when you're in battlegrounds. It also increases our magicka recovery and reduces the magicka cost of all of our abilities by 7%. It also increases our max magicka by 2,000 and your alliance points gained by 1%. So yeah, the Nord would work well as a second though, I think, or maybe even first. It depends on what you want. We do have all of our points into health. 64 points into health, and we're running the ritual as our Mundus for the 8% increase in healing. So right now we are out in Imperial City. I was going to film this in Cyrodil, but we had scroll bonuses, and so it was kind of messing with with scroll bonuses, these go up quite a bit. So if we hit our polar wind, you can see, well, that brings us to our food. Let's see. We are running the Alcair sword pie. So let's go ahead and use that. That gives us 6,160 for 2.5 hours. Although the Solitude Salmon Millet Soup is also very good. If you feel you need more max magicka, go with that. These are both very cheap to make. So now if we jump back over, you can see we have 48,000. And when we hit our polar wind, which should be up at all times, you can see we now have 52,536 health. 14,810 max magicka and 12,770 stamina. Our magicka recovery is 1,468, although that doesn't really matter because we're heavy attacking all the time. Take advantage of our restoration staff passive. Right down here. Where is it? Heavy attacks restore 30% more magicka. And this one right here, you gain major mending for 4 seconds after completing a fully charged heavy attack, increasing your healing done by 16%. This is huge. So what I was doing is heavy attacking, heal, heavy attack, heal. We're using polar wind because it's based off of our health, max health. So it's a massive heal. I was seeing this hit sometimes into 17 to 18k in battlegrounds, 40-some thousand when you are in overland. So it's a massive heal. So health recovery 138, stamina recovery 874. Our weapon damage is 3060, or our spell damage, sorry, which is really what counts. And then our spell critical is 23.4. Our spell resistance is 32,476, and our physical resistance is 30,166. with a critical resistance of 2,125. You are extremely tanky. And even beyond this, when we get into our gear, you'll see why we're even tankier. So these are the resists that we're looking at right here. And our heal, when you go down here, is 37%, which can go up to 50-some% when you get the heavy attack passive going of the extra 16%. So you really, when you hit your crit heals, they're massive. So let's jump over to our skills. We're running Deceptive Predator, and we're running Frozen Device, Ice Fortress, and Shimmering Shield, along with Polar Wind and Life Giver. The one button that you will be spamming, obviously, is Polar Wind. These are here to give you passives, mainly from, if we go to Class and Winter's Embrace, and you look at this one right here, it's giving us 3,960 extra physical and spell resistance. So that's why we have 3 of those slotted. If you want to slot, if you want to be less tanky, you can slot whatever you like as far as heals in here. To me, these are not flex spots. I like to be extremely tanky. But you can, if you want, throw heals in here. This gives us major evasion or minor evasion, reducing damage from area attacks. You gain immunity to snares and immobilizations for 4 seconds when you cast this. And when you have one animal spell slotted, you also get a nice passive. I do believe it is, let's see here. You generate 4 ultimate. Every 8 seconds you can generate 4 ultimate, so you want to keep that up every 8 seconds. This increases your magic and stamina recovery by 12% if you have one slotted, which is very nice. And it increases the critical damage for each animal companion slotted, which is 4% right now. And if when the wings end, you get 1,758 health back. So it's very nice to keep those wings up. Plus, it's very nice for getting out of sticky situations because for 4 seconds they can't snare you. Frozen Device, if you want to use it, you can. I don't really recommend doing anything but spamming Polar Wind, but you could if you see someone in a group. I did use this a few times. It was quite funny. We were in a death match in a cluster, and each little group is in their little murder balls, and I would cast it in there and yank one person over to us, and then my team would slaughter them before they could get back to their group. So you can use it that way. Ice Fortress, again, it's here mainly for the passives, but you can cast this for your teammates. You don't really need it because you're wearing the Oaken Soul, and so it's already covered. The minor protection is already covered, and the major resolve is also already covered. So casting this for yourself is useless, but it's here because it gives us the passives. Shimmering Shield is extremely handy when you are running from a group, and let's say you're doing flag games and you're running from a group to another group. Instead of them hitting you from behind, you can keep this up and it absorbs projectiles, so this is nice to keep up. Life Giver, of course, is one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best heals in the game. It fires all 3 regeneration, blessing of protection, steadfast, ward all at one time. I have pulled people back from the brink of death with this. Not to mention, you also heal the ally for 9,575 health every 1 second for 5 seconds. That is massive. So you're putting a shield on them, You're hitting them with Blessing of Protection and a regeneration all at once, along with the actual heal from the staff itself. So just a really powerful spell. Now this is based off of whatever it is that, whoops, my bad. This is based off whatever you have under your restoration staff. As far as these spells, it casts these three spells right here. I'm running Combat Prayer, Radiating Regeneration, and Healing Ward. You could use the other morph of the Blessing of Protection. I think I meant to swap this out and didn't. No, this is the one because it gives physical and spell resistance for 10 seconds. So you want to give that to someone that's in trouble. And then the Healing Ward, if they're down, if they're very wounded, the shield strength is increased by up to 100%, depending on the severity of the target's wounds. So this is great for getting people out of a sticky situation. And then, of course, you hit them with a Radiating Regeneration, which gives them 11,000 over 10 seconds. Just a very, very solid ultimate. Polar Wind, I don't think I have to say much about this, but you can see I have a 20,911 standing tooltip here in Imperial City. And that goes up if I hit my Polar Wind, or if I hit the Polar Wind, it increases my health. Therefore, it goes up to 22,713 because this scales off of your max health. So then an additional 5,629 health every 2 seconds over 10 seconds. So one of the most powerful heals that I know of in the game that gives a massive heal and a hot. So it's a burst and a hot, and it's really amazing. I run this exclusively in Battlegrounds and have no problem. I heal for anywhere from 1 to 3.9 million as the highest I've seen, 3.9 million. And it could probably go higher because I was leveling a lot of this stuff up when I saw those numbers. So we've gone through, we are stage 3, and we've already gone over the fact we're ritual. If you want to run it out here in Cyrodil or Imperial City, I recommend Ironclad, Rejuvenator, Soothing Tide, Focus Mending, and then Celerity, Pain's Refuge, Rejuvenation, and Siphoning. Run what you want in the green. For our sets, we're running Mara's Balm and Gloom Grace. These two together make you insanely tanky. It's just crazy how powerful these are. With the Maras, you are healing all the time whenever a negative effect is removed from you, and it can do that every 1 second. So I'm constantly seeing 600 rolling onto my screen. It's like having just free heals. And then when you take damage and have 6 or more negative effects, you restore 1,543 health per negative effect, and then cleanse it all. So it takes all the 6 negative effects, which you're going to have them on you all the time. Then Gloom Grace going off. When you take damage, you become a living shadow for 10 seconds, causing you to heal for 3,910 every 2 seconds, and gaining major evasion, reducing damage from area attacks by 20%. This effect can occur every 20 seconds and scales off your max health. So that is also massive. Also gives you 4% healing taken and 2 lines of max health, which is what we need. On our helm, we're running Reinforced. On our, and all these are max health, by the way. I tried Tri-Stat. I did not like the Tri-Stat as much as I did the max health. So just, I'm running max health. If you want to use Tri-Stats, you can. So Reinforced on the helm, Impen on the pauldron. We are running the Cuirass of the Trainee Reinforced on our chest. Gauntlets are Mara's, Impen, Mara's Girdle, Nirnhoned. Greaves are Reinforced. The Sabatons are Impen. And then we got the Gloomgraced Ring with Magicka Recovery and Max Health. Oaken Soul Ring, I left that with the multi effect, which is the way I had it, and Healthy. So you could run max health on that and get, or I'm sorry, more magic recovery if you ran that just straight magic recovery. It's up to you. Gloomgrace necklace, healthy with magic recovery, and the restoration staff is powered with oblivion damage. Now, you can also run this. I have two versions of this. I have the oblivion damage and I have the magic damage restore magica. So it depends on, I wanted to do a little bit more damage, and so this does almost 2,000 damage just from the oblivion damage that I noticed in BGs. So it adds a little bit more damage when you're attacking. So it's totally up to you. I really haven't played it enough. I just did it a little while ago, so I haven't played it enough to know which one I prefer. But you can play around with both of those. Those are the two I recommend, the oblivion damage and the store magica. So I think I pretty well covered it all. The gameplay is basically heavy attack, polar wind, every now and again throw the deceptive predator. You will be using tri-stat pots a lot. You'll be going through these like water. I do anyway. I keep them up all the time. And I don't even have my alchemy. I don't even have my medicinal use up yet. This character is kind of new and I've been working on him. And as far as provisioning, I don't have the... Well, that one is actually connoisseur. I think it's, I don't know if there's one for food. Yeah, here it is. So I actually need to put some points into that. So that increases your duration of any eaten food. So that's nice. I mean, it's cheap food anyway. But big one is alchemy and your medicinal use. When using potions, the resulting effects last 10% longer. So you want to basically keep those potions up at all times because of that 30% magic recovery, health recovery, and stamina recovery. So when you get your alchemy leveled fully up, you'll be looking at it 47 seconds with a 45-second cooldown. So that means that you'll have it up 100% of the time. Right now, I'm down for 5 seconds and then it'll be back up. So again, getting that alchemy leveled up and getting that passive is very important. I've tried all different types of setups, and this is the setup that I spent an entire week in the battlegrounds, and I got around I think 60,000 more points than anyone else in Deathmatch. Got a high score on one other and then missed the other one by like 4,000 points, but I wasn't even starting out. I wasn't trying to get on the leaderboard for those. That was kind of like, I noticed I was getting on the leaderboard, so I thought, why not kind of continue that out. But mostly I got there by simply playing this character. So you can, if you want, you can run Night Slayer on this as well in place of the Gloomgrace. You're not as tanky. But if you want to, you can actually, when I was doing that, I was doing as much damage as I was healing. So at one point I got somewhere in the neighborhood of 1.2 million healing and 1.2 million damage. So I was running Night Slayer with an Oblivion enchant, and it did really well. It was a resto staff, so you can do that. I was seeing numbers around 4K when I was hitting people from just the Night Slayer, and then another couple K or 3K from the staff itself. So it depends obviously how tanky the person is, but the more health they have, the harder the Night Slayer hits them. I think that's it. I'm going to put some gameplay footage after this, so feel free to enjoy that. If you have any questions on this build, please post them below and I will try to answer any questions you have. Yeah, I hope you enjoy the build and I hope you give it a shot. It's incredibly tanky. It has high heals, and again, it will score the highest points for you in any match that I've found. except for Capture the Relic. That's really my own fault because I absolutely hate Capture the Relic. But Chaos Ball, unbelievably tanky. You can stand there in the middle and let them wail on you, heal up, and if you have another healer with you or a tanky person, you can stand there together and one of you get the ball and just run with it. You actually, if someone else gets the ball, you get way more points for healing the person carrying the ball than you do carrying the ball yourself. FYI, if you're really into points. I was amazed that I got double the points for healing the guy carrying the ball than when I carried the ball. So, yeah, the scoring is kind of wonky in Battlegrounds. So, if you have any questions, leave them below. That's the build, and we'll get on to some footage. I hope you enjoy it. For Retro Gamers Guild, I'm David Storm.
Outstanding, but it's not over yet. Good work! Now, keep pushing! We're so close now!